Sorry, it is a good afternoon. We are running late. Deliberate mistake. As you can see, I'm Gary Dawson. I'm the Managing Director of AV Dawson's. I'm delighted to welcome you today to our Tees Freight Terminal and to hear from Tees Valley Mayor Mr. Ben Houchin about his successful first year in office. If I can quickly just get some housekeeping issues out of the way. Work activity is being restricted during this event, however this is still a live facility. Please don't leave the event area unless escorted by an AV Dawson member of staff. You will see them at the back wearing yellow vests, or orange vests, sorry. They'll be happy to assist with any requests. Please don't touch the steel coils, some have sharp edges and they will stain your clothing. And please stick at all times to the marked walkways. If we do need to leave the building in an emergency, pedestrian exits are clearly marked at the back and to the side of the shed. And there is a muster point outside at the rear of the shed near the drainage lagoon. Most importantly, lunch will be provided straight after the formalities, so please stay around to eat and to network. Before Ben takes the stage, I'd like to take the opportunity to tell you a little bit about AV Dawson's and to announce some good news about a major new contract win. In July this year, AV Dawson will celebrate 80 years of supporting manufacturing supply chains by handling and moving freight through the Tees Valley. We have built, here in Middlesbrough, a truly multimodal 100-acre terminal which includes port operations, rail terminals, road haulage and warehousing. In the last 9 years, we have invested over £30 million in infrastructure, and we will be investing a further £11 million in the next 12 months. It is this investment, alongside a family business culture of integrity, service quality, flexibility and safety, as well as the continual development of our staff, that has enabled us to expand and to continue to diversify. We are huge flag wavers for UK steel production and UK manufacturing. The steel you see around you all comes from South Wales and it comes by rail, and it feeds the North East's highly successful automotive market. We also export through our quaysides hundreds of thousands of tons of Teesside made structural steel into European and world markets. The UK steel industry is far from dead. The landscape is, however, changing. Freight opportunities related to waste-to-energy plants, green energy schemes such as offshore wind, and recycled construction materials are at an all-time high. And AV Dawson and the Tees Valley is making the most of these opportunities. I'm delighted to be able to announce today the signing of a new long-term agreement between AV Dawson and our new customer, British Gypsum. British Gypsum, part of the global Saint-Gobain group, is the UK market leader for plaster and plasterboard products. British Gypsum is shipping raw materials into the Tees using AV Dawson's port facilities. We've already received 5 ships in the last 3 weeks. Ships are discharged in 10 hours, and the recycled mineral product will soon be loaded onto daily trains destined for the East Midlands. Construction of a new rail loading canopy is already underway, just across the rail tracks from here, and we are, of course, using steel beams produced at British Steel's Teesside Beam Mill. This efficient, environmentally sound solution will take tens of thousands of trucks off the UK's roads. It will create new jobs at AV Dawson and will help secure the future of over 200 existing employees. It will create work for those in supporting roles, such as ship's agents, river pilots and foy boatmen, and of course for the rail freight operators. This is great news for AV Dawson. It's great news for our statutory Harbour Authority PD ports, and is great news for Teesside. The River Tees remains very much our lifeblood, as it does for the whole of the Tees Valley. The road and rail infrastructure that serves it is our route to market. AV Dawson is working actively with bodies such as Transport for the North, and alongside the Tees Valley Combined Authority to put the case for more investment into road and rail infrastructure and to promote the River Tees and Tees Valley as a place to invest. We are very positive about the great work being done by the Combined Authority in raising the profile of the area, and Mayor Ben Houchin has gone out of his way to be accessible to industry and has specifically demonstrated his support for the river, which is one of the reasons we were delighted to host today's event. Time, however, passes very, very quickly, and I know that like A.V. Dawson, the Mayor's been extremely busy over the last year. Now, let's see a short film showing some of his highlights.
In 2017, it was money that was jobs created over the next 25 years. This is a site that is alive with opportunity. But look at what else we've achieved. Let's look at our record of delivery on investment. The National Horizon Centre, £17.5 million. Northern School of Art and Design, £8.3 million. The Advanced Manufacturing Park, £7.6 million. Middlesbrough Station, £4.5 million. Grade A office space at Feetham's, £3.2 million. But what we're doing is so much more than bricks and mortar. We launched a £1.3 million apprenticeship fund. We launched a £7.5 million Routes to Work scheme. We agreed a £200 million deal with Teesside Pension Fund. We secured £59 million from government to transform local connectivity. We received £12 million to unlock sustainable homes, and we got £8 million for 3 road schemes across the Tees Valley. But we're not going to stop there, and this is my promise of more. We're going to redevelop Darlington Station. We're going to continue to redevelop Middlesbrough Station, and we're going to secure the finance and progress plans to build a bypass around Darlington. On top of that, we're going to secure more powers, more responsibility and more money from central government to make sure devolution stays on track. And on top of that, we're also going to promote a fund to give small businesses access to finance to make sure that they can grow their businesses and make sure that homegrown talent can stay in the area to build a life and a career on Teesside rather than having to go elsewhere. And yes, we are going to get Teesside Airport back. We're going to make sure that we secure the ownership of Teesside Airport so it's run for the people, by the people. We're only 1 year on, and the biggest enemy to progress is complacency. We need to make sure that we're doing all that we can to deliver real change to the people of the Tees Valley. That's creating jobs, that's driving economic growth, and that's helping people least well off in our local community, because together we will build a Tees Valley that works for everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to welcome to the stage Tees Valley Mayor, Mr. Ben Houchin.
Just before I start, let me thank Gary personally. It's a fantastic effort that you and your team have put in to be able to host us here today. And I don't want to make Gary blush, but one of the reasons to bring this discussion here today is that Gary is one of the most genuine, credible people that I've had the honour of meeting over the first 12 months. And also, A.V. Dawson, as a family-owned business within the Tees Valley, epitomises everything we want to see and what we want to create in the Tees Valley. And so there is no better place to come today. So thank you very much, Gary, for hosting us and having everybody here. So let's go straight into it. This week, 1 year ago, I was fortunate enough to be elected as the Conservative Mayor of the Tees Valley. It was an honour of a lifetime and a privilege to represent our great area. An area where I was born, grew up, went to school, got my first job, and met the love of my life, Rachel, who sat there on the front row in a red dress. Didn't get the memo, should be blue. This area, whether you call it Durham, North Yorkshire, Cleveland, Teesside or the Tees Valley, this is in our blood and it's our home. And I couldn't be prouder to stand here today, 1 year on, as the Mayor. But let's be clear, my election was not day zero. While I am the first person to hold this office, I am not responsible for creating it. We are here because of more than 20 years of collaboration between MPs, local authorities, businesses and central government. And we're here because the leaders of our local authorities put aside party politics and played and worked with government to secure what we have today. We're also here because of James Wharton, the former Northern Powerhouse Minister and MP for Stockton South, who demanded that the Tees Valley got its own deal, rather than getting sucked into Newcastle. We're here because of Greg Clark, our Teessider in Whitehall, put devolution right at the heart of government thinking. From our city deal to the devolution deal, he's been with us from start to finish. And we're here because of the dedication of our local enterprise partnership. I know that Paul Booth is somewhere to be seen in the audience. A public-private collaboration to be reckoned with from Sandy Anderson, Stephen Catchpole, Paul Booth, Linda Edworthy, Neil Kenley and Andrew Lewis, as well as so many more. They are the quiet driving force of devolution in our area. They know, just as we do, that the best answers for local people will come from local people. They are the unsung heroes of the Tees Valley story, and we should be forever grateful for their work. So please, let's give them all a round of applause. So today, I want to talk about our record of delivery and our promise of more. It's a record of job creation, growth and investment, a record of positivity and optimism, but also a promise of a better future. A promise that the Tees Valley will stand tall again. A promise that our best days are still ahead of us. What we're achieving on the South Tees Development Corporation site embodies this promise. Launched last year by the Prime Minister, this is the first mayoral development corporation to be established outside of Greater London. A locally led board chaired by me and accountable to the people. Even as locals, I don't think we fully appreciate the sheer scale of this project. A 4,500 acre brownfield site, 6 times the size of the City of London. This is the single biggest regeneration opportunity in the UK right now. We've had over 100 expressions of interest from global companies who want to base themselves here. Our plan to deliver 20,000 jobs over the next 2 decades, it is a site alive with opportunity. We have built the foundations of something special, but challenges do remain. Last week, we took the next step to secure ownership of the land. Compulsory purchase proceedings. This is an important step to taking back control of the site and to give it back to the people. But this is very much a plan B. It would be wrong of us not to plan for all eventualities. So later this month, in parallel, I'll be travelling to Thailand to meet with the Thai banks who own the SSI site. I'm confident that we will reach an agreement that works for the taxpayer and will also allow us to start building on the site as soon as possible. But think of it this way. Thanks to the Chancellor's commitment of £123 million last year, we've got the cash. Thanks to our devolution deal, we've got the powers. Thanks to Simon Clarke MP and his colleagues in Westminster, we have government on our side. We have businesses lining up to invest. So getting hold of the land is the final piece of the jigsaw. And I have every confidence we will find a solution very, very soon. But let's now look what's on the horizon. We will soon see the first announcement of private investment on the South Tees Development Corporation site since it was written into statute. A multi-billion-pound energy plant. Thousands of jobs will be created, many more in the supply chain. This is a project of national significance, but it won't happen overnight. Trust me, if there was just a single lever that I could pull to make this happen, I would pull it. This will take time. But what we are doing will all take time, but it will be worth the wait. But also, we can't talk about the Development Corporation without mentioning the major reason for it in the first place. And actually, there are 2,000 reasons. 2,000 men and women who lost their livelihoods on that fateful day in 2015. The end of 170 years of steelmaking on Teesside. I remember when the news broke, and I'm sure many of you do as well, and I pray for the people of Teesside that we never have to endure such a seismic shock ever again. So 2.5 years on, I want us to take a moment to recognise what has been achieved by the SSI task force, chaired by Amanda Skelton, Chief Executive of Redcar Council, who was rightly awarded an OBE for her efforts last year. But let's look what happened. 98% of those people who lost their jobs are back in work. 300 new startups supported, 23,700 training courses funded, £50 million invested. These aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet, these are real people, real families, and real communities, as we all know. And while many have found a new path in life following the SSI shutdown, we owe it to the former workers and their families and the rest of the Tees Valley to make a success of the South Tees Development Corporation. Because at the end of the day, local people will ultimately judge us on whether we have a real long-term plan to deal with low pay, in-work poverty, and low productivity. And this all starts with creating and attracting more decent jobs. Not just on the Development Corporation site, but across the Tees Valley. That's why I have and always will put job creation at the forefront of everything I do. Every single job created means more people are given a security of a paycheck at the end of each month, meaning they can provide for themselves and their families. That's why we need to back the innovators, the job creators, the entrepreneurs and the risk takers. Private businesses, they are the engine of our economy. They're the wealth creators. They are the ones investing, employing, training and exporting. We need to be on the side of those who want to crack on, stand on their own 2 feet and build a better life for themselves, their children and their communities. So I'd say to those people today, what we're doing is all about you. Decent jobs, quality homes, good colleges, rail and road infrastructure fit for purpose, and renewed pride in our area. And look at the record of delivery on investment. We've ploughed in 151 would be nice. We've ploughed in £51 million into projects in the last year, creating 4,000 new jobs. That is a big effort. And this year we plan to double that to £104 million. Look at our record of delivery on securing funds from government, £123 million for the Development Corporation site, £59 million to transform our local transport connectivity, £13 million to unlock sustainable housing in Stockton and Darlington, and £8 million for 3 new pinch point road schemes, and that's just all in 1 year. It's all well and good for politicians to be able to stand here and splash the cash, but it's about what the investment is actually doing. Look at the optimism, the confidence and the positivity we're seeing from our local businesses. Companies are coming from all over the world to create and invest in jobs here. That's not happening by accident. We're used to talking a lot about fabricating, for example, the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Every metropolis came from Ironopolis. Too bloody right. We should be proud of our industrial heritage, but what I want to make sure is our past should be relevant to our future. Now our businesses are welding the parts to fit on the NASA Space Shuttle. They're creating the microchips that went into Sebastian Vettel's Formula One steering wheel. They're designing chart-topping Xbox games. And there is even a dark matter lab in Redcar. You know, it's not flat caps, whippets and smog up here anymore. People from across the country are looking at the Tees Valley in a very different light. And they're seeing what we're doing, they're seeing what we're building. We are changing perceptions. We have the ear of government and we are punching above our weight. Because in the end, it all comes down to where the power lies. Who makes the decisions, who governs? It's time to face the facts. For too long, our country has been too centralised and too London-centric. People have felt too remote from the decisions that have been made. And this powerlessness has contributed to so much apathy towards politics, but politicians in particular. The belief that we no longer control our own destiny, that voting changes nothing. But we are changing this, and there is a different way to do things. Devolution has brought power closer to the people. Having a mayor, we're at the top table sitting alongside London, Birmingham, Manchester and Liverpool. That's not Leeds, it's not Newcastle, but it's us, the Tees Valley. We are in the room. And having a mayor, whoever it is, getting a larger slice of the cake at the same time. There are doors open to us that have never been open before, and it's paying dividends, but we can't stop there. The next few years will be critical, not only for the Tees Valley, but for our country. Brexit is clearly the single biggest issue facing us for a generation. Whether you voted leave or remain, we need to look at the future and the opportunities that lie ahead. I've spoken a lot about a free port for Teesside, but actually Brexit is so much more than that. There is a grit and a natural optimism in places like ours when it comes to Britain's place in the world. From the days of Captain Cook, we are and always have been open, outward-looking part of the world and ready to embrace new opportunities. That's why we need to get Brexit right, and I have every faith in the government's ability to do that. But that shouldn't mean everything else grinds to a halt. Yes, we must take back control from Brussels to Westminster, but also from Downing Street to our local streets. So my message to government today is to listen to us, trust us, keep putting faith in local people and local decision making. Give us the powers, give us the responsibility, and give us the tools we need to prove devolution works. Let us prove to you and to ourselves that we can do it, that the Tees Valley can do it ourselves. But today, as well, isn't all just about patting ourselves on the back. We've hit the ground running, but there's a lot more to do. So today, I'm going to announce just a few things, with a croaky cough as well. Firstly, there are two initiatives that are very close to my heart, both as a former business owner and a husband of an assistant head teacher at a local school. Firstly, supporting our small businesses is a no-brainer. They are the lifeblood of our economy, as I've already said, and I know how hard it is to get the start-up capital required to build a company from scratch. I know the sleepless nights, the risks that are taken, the cash flow issues, trying to get into the black, and that's why today I'm pleased to announce a new £13 million access to finance fund to back those job creators, innovators, entrepreneurs and risk takers. This will be a new, flexible fund designed by local people who have worked with me to get this off the ground for local businesses. They're powering up the Northern Powerhouse and we are on their side. But it's also all very well and good talking about supporting local businesses and business growth. But if we don't train local people, then we've fallen at the first hurdle. We need to inspire kids and arm them with the skills and confidence for the jobs of tomorrow. So from September this year, we will kickstart a new, fully integrated careers service, teesvalleycareers.com. This is a £3 million initiative which will see every secondary school and college in the area linked up with local businesses to shape and deliver proper careers education. We have set ourselves a target over that same time frame to get 1,000 businesses engaging with 11 to 18-year-olds to directly inform them of the jobs on offer and the career opportunities, with each child receiving at least 7 meaningful employer engagements. We are going above and beyond everything possible to equip our young people with the skills they need to flourish and provide businesses with the expertise they need to grow. And we all know how deeply problematic the old connection service was. It was built on flawed thinking, business input was minimal, and it often alienated schools. The advice given really wasn't up to scratch and young people suffered for it. Our approach will be different. We think what we're planning is the first of its kind in the UK. We won't be replacing existing work, but we'll be complementing it. We'll be aligning school careers advice and enterprise education to meet our local business needs and skill demands. We'll ensure young people know about the opportunities available in our area. And we can't just sit back and watch thousands of young people leave our region never to return. Investing in homegrown talent is a priority, and it starts with proper careers education. So here is a short video about what we have planned for our careers service. bit of a flavour, and please watch this space, go on the website and have a look. And please, if you are a local business owner or you're involved in a business, do get involved, because it is essential that local businesses engage with us and with local schools to be able to create that pathway and inspire our young people really to realise the opportunities that are in the local area, meaning that we can retain talent and hopefully give young people aspiration to not just live here, but build a life and a career here as well. So I've spoken a lot this morning about newfound optimism, punching above our weight with government, but I also want to talk about our place in the world. The Tees Valley is a global brand, and at the election, I promised to launch a mayoral trade mission programme to sell Teesside to the world. And that is exactly what we're going to do. In 2 weeks' time, I'll be leading a delegation of Teesside businesses to Japan and South Korea, 2 countries with a significant footprint in our region. From NIFCO, Lucite, Lotte Chemicals, Samsung, Fujifilm, Nissan. These are all businesses investing, employing, training and exporting right here, right now. But look at our companies over there. From bulk oil to PD ports, we're making our mark in East Asia too. Working with the Department of International Trade, we'll be heading out there confident in ourselves, opening doors, closing deals and building relationships. This will be the first of many opportunities to bang the drum for the Tees Valley on the global stage. Because if we don't, nobody else will. But it's easy, when you've been there for a year, to fall into the trap of defending your record and standing up for the status quo. That would be very easy. Not me. We've made some good progress, but the world doesn't stand still. So this is my promise of more. This year, in Hartlepool, we'll be signing off investment for a new Elwick bypass, unlocking land for sustainable development in Hartlepool. We'll also commit to phase 2 of our plans to revitalise Church Street in the town, building new modern workspace and an incubation facility for creative startups. In Middlesbrough, we'll drive forward the regeneration of Gresham, working with Teesside University and our local pension fund to bring forward new student accommodation and retail space. This is a site that stood vacant for too long. Now we're stepping in to get the job done. We'll also back Boho Next Generation, new space for digital scale-ups looking for quality office space in the town. And we're also committed over £100,000 to develop plans, but we'll look to make a further financial contribution later this year. In Darlington, we're working with Network Rail and the Department of Transport to completely redevelop Darlington Station. This is a project of, again, national significance to relieve pressures on the East Coast Main Line and to open up capacity on the local line. It's an enormous project, but today I'm pleased to announce that I'm willing to commit £25 million from the £59 million that has been given to us by government last year to kickstart work on the station as soon as possible, and I will be bringing that to the Combined Authority Cabinet in due course. So enough of the talk, enough of the pretty pictures that people want us to deliver, and this is what we are going to do. These are just some of the projects that we'll be supporting this year. Projects that will deliver real jobs, real prosperity for the people across the Tees Valley. And in the months ahead, and years ahead, we'll continue to secure money, powers, responsibility from central government. We will finance startups, scale-ups and invest in homegrown talent. We will promote proper apprenticeships, not soft courses. Tees Valley will be promoted to the world, and we will see our airport fly again. Which brings me to my next announcement. As you may know, I made quite a bold pledge at the election. Some of you may have forgotten, but I doubt it somehow. I promised to the people of the Tees Valley that our airport would be run by the people, for the people, bringing Teesside Airport back into public ownership. Over the last 12 months, I've had a series of informal discussions with Peel Airports. It's been tough, and people have rightly wondered whether I was able to deliver on this pledge. But I'm pleased to say that those discussions are now entering a much more advanced stage. And today I can confirm that there is a strict non-disclosure agreement that has been signed between my office and Peel Group. We will be discussing future ownership, and we both want a resolution that will safeguard the future of our airport. This is a welcome development, but I think there's even more. I'm also pleased to announce that a separate NDA, non-disclosure agreement, has been signed with a well-known, established airport operator who is interested in partnering with me as we move forward on the airport. I really wish I could say more at this point, and I hope in due course I'll be able to. But what is clear is that on the airport we are moving in the right direction. We're only 1 year in, but we should be proud of the start that we have made together. The greatest enemy to progress is complacency, to coast when we should be decisive. Those were the clear instructions given me to the people, by the people 12 months ago, and that's the job that I've been asked to do. So my message to you today is we're on the up and we are with you. To the school leaver looking for their first apprenticeship, we are with you. To the business struggling to get access to finance because the banks have turned you away, we are with you. To the graduate looking to find a decent job in our area, we are with you. And to the young people struggling with career options, we are with you. This is our record of delivery, and this is our promise of more. And thank you very much for being a part of it. Thank you.